2025. First things first, let me know y'all thoughts on today's new episode down below. What did y'all think? Did y'all like it? Look, I think we need to talk about Sonny and Turner fast. I said fast. Hold on, y'all. I think we got to talk about them because I said I don't know if Sonny playing working or him and Turner just want each other. I said I don't know, y'all. I said I don't know if his plan is actually working or him and 88 Turner actually like each other. I said it might be a little bit of both. It might be a little bit of both. Hold on, y'all. But yeah, what did y'all think of the episode? Let me know down below. So we're gonna start with Chase and Michael. So basically, well, actually, I'm gonna just give a rundown or whatever, and then get my thoughts. Chase was trying to convince Michael about Willow to give her a chance to see the kids, saying he don't think she could wait that long. Michael almost said, she done did some things, meaning took Daisy or whatever, but he didn't tell nobody aside from Dante. Excuse me. Aside from Dante, I think that's the only person that knows that he suspects it. I don't know if he's gonna end up telling his parents or what, but we'll see. Lulu's mad that Lisa was in the stands cheering on Rocco, and she won't call us to help drive Lisa out of town. Laura wants to discuss Sonny, whether or not, he actually grabbed Marco. What else? Sonny brings 88 Turner to the hospital. And that's what I was talking about. I was like, they whole little scene and stuff. Then she started asking about Willow and stuff like that. I said, don't you tell her nothing. I said, don't you tell her nothing. She been trying to find everything on you. I said, you keep your mouth closed. But here he go. Here he go. Somebody, I think he basically said, although he thinks that the better parent got, custody of the kids, he didn't expect that. He didn't expect her to lose all of the rights or whatever. He thought she would at least get visitation. So I don't know if this is gonna be a good thing or a bad thing, because remember, Sidwell said that if Sonny don't get on board, he's gonna make it public knowledge that the judge was bribed and make it seem like Sonny did it or whatever. So do y'all think she gonna put two and two together and realize that Sonny really wasn't the one, or will she use that to her advantage? But yeah, I was like, Sonny, shut up. I said, shut up. But yeah, they whole little scene. I was like, look, I don't know, y'all. I said, I don't know if his plan working, because, what was it, yesterday? If I'm not mistaken, it was yesterday's episode where he told Jason how he has this plan, where he want to be seen in public with 88 Turner and all this other stuff so that it could be biased or whatever. So they had to get somebody else on the case or whatever. So I was like, I can't tell if his plan is working or if they into each other. I said, I feel like they like each other. At least she like him. I don't know, y'all. I said, I don't know. It wouldn't be the first time with it. What was that lady name? Some years ago. It was a long time ago, though. Didn't she work at the PCPD, too? What's her name, Claire? What was the lady name? I don't know. She was investigating. It was somebody, if I'm not mistaken, it was investigating Sonny, and they ended up falling for him. I don't know. Either way it go. Clara Walsh. Yeah, exactly. I was like, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I feel like she gonna end up falling for him if she hasn't already. But yeah, where I stop it? Let me see. I already said Sonny brought 88 Turner to the hospital because they was playing baseball, softball, something, some type of sport, and she got injured or whatever. And he still waited around for her. I said, look, he playing a long game for real. But yeah, she just a smiling and stuff. I said, you falling for them dimples, girl. You falling for them dimples. I said, it's a trick. I said, it's a trap. Don't fall for it. But yeah, he told her, because Willow came over there to check on her, and he was like, they need a new nurse. And she wanted to know why. So he started talking about, the custody battle and stuff like that. And she said it's unheard of or unusual for the judge not to at least give her visitation. And she started looking like she was curious and stuff. And he was saying how even though Michael, deserved custody and stuff like that, he thought that she would get, visitation and stuff like that. And the kids need their mama as well as their dad or whatever. But Sonny been vocal about that. He been trying to compromise and everything. Nobody else was willing to compromise. He over here, he has been. And Willow also told Isaiah on today's new episode, basically Sonny been the only one who been really nice to her. Then she don't sit up here and snitch. I said, these people can't hold water. She done told that Drew was blackmailing Portia or whatever. I done skipped ahead. Let me see where I stop at. Tracy ends up telling the ladies that there has been a change of plans. Basically, they can't go to the police because if they do, then they could implicate themselves and stuff like that. Maxie was the only one who still wanted to go, and now they worried that she's going to go talk to Mac or whatever. Excuse me. So they worried about that now. I think Brooklyn's supposed to be talking to Sonny on tomorrow's episode, saying she got some good news or whatever. What else? I'm going to backtrack. We're going to finish with Chase and Michael. He was just trying to convince him to allow Willow to see the kids and stuff like that. And Michael was saying, you don't really know what's going on and stuff like that. He was like, I know that the kids want to see their mama and stuff like that. And they were just going back and forth. I said, look at these two. I said, they arguing and stuff. Then Willow over here talking to Isaiah about Chase. I said, don't you do it. I said, don't you do it. Don't you find nobody else, girl. You need to heal. I said, don't you do it, girl. I said, Then, Chase and Brooklyn having problems. Well, they ain't having problems, but he wants to adopt and she doesn't as of right now. Y'all know that's an opening. Y'all know that's an opening. I said, don't you do it, girl. Somebody said, yeah, Chase is this and that. Chase is who I thought Michael would be or something like that. And I said, she still don't get it. I said, she still don't get it. They let you know right there. She still don't get it. Hold on. What else? Carly and Lulu already said how Lulu mad that Lisa was in the stands cheering for Rocco, and she want Carly help to drive excuse me, to drive Lisa out of town or whatever. And the first Carly was saying, it's a conflict of interest and stuff like that because of the whole. I think she said Jason, or Lulu figured out that it was because of Jason. So they started talking about it. She was like, if you can prove that, she doing something bad, then I help you run her out of town. And I said, well, if she find out her daughter alive, then maybe she'll go out of town by herself. Or at least they suspect that she alive. Because don't nobody know for sure what Jason do because he heard her voice. Hey, Amy, how you doing today? But yeah, excuse me. Jason, Rocco, Danny, Lisa came up. She was like congratulating them for their win. She told me she want to go get some ice cream with them and stuff like that. And so they went to get the equipment because Jason was trying to distract them so he could tell her, I get what you're doing. That's the last connection with Britt and stuff like that. But you gonna make Rocco have to choose between, seeing you and stuff like that or disobeying his parents. And she was like, she was beating around the bush and stuff like that, but she was like, she understands. So she ended up making up an excuse or whatever. But that's not gonna last because Rocco was telling, I'm about to say Jason Jr. Rocco was telling Danny over here, his feelings and stuff, how he wants to get to know her and Britt. And once he find out she alive, oh my goodness, it's gonna be a whole bunch of mess. But yeah, what else? Dante and Laura, I think they started out talking about if Sonny had actually grabbed Marco. Dante was saying how there's no evidence to prove it, but if you want me to investigate, then I'll do that. I said, Laura, you picked the fine time to want to go investigate stuff. I was like, girl, you think that's gonna help you? I was like, no, Laura. I said, don't have him investigate nothing. Y'all got bigger fish to fry. What's his name? Sitwell over here doing we don't even know what the man doing. You talking about some investigating Sonny. That's a distraction. Y'all got plenty of time to investigate him. He'll be doing some criminal next year too. But hold on. Let me see who else we got. Oh, after they got through talking about Sonny, they ended up talking about Brett and the fact that Rocco wants to find out information. She was just trying to say that if you continue to tell him he can't do this, he's gonna find a way to do it either way it go. So she ended up convincing him that finding out more and stuff like that is not gonna hurt. And Dante was basically in agreement with her. He was like, now if Britt was alive, he'll be against it. And they was trying to figure out how to convince Lulu. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, did a spoiler say that Dante and Lulu supposed to butt heads or something like that? What they said. I understand where Chase is coming from. I get it. He wants Michael to live with us, see the kids now rather than waiting until the hearing. Yeah, I get it. Of course, if they friends and stuff like that, and she want to see her kids, and he said if she cut ties with Drew, I get it. I see both sides. Y'all already know that. But it's just Willow keep doing stupid stuff. Now he don't figure out what she did. Now he hadn't figured that out. Maybe if she hadn't came over there to the house or whatever, and she just contacted him over the phone, things would have ended differently. But lately, everybody been talking about this custody battle. And how strange that the judge would do this and that. So it's only a matter of time for the truth comes out, y'all. It's only a matter of time just waiting on Sidwell to go tell Sonny or threaten him. But yeah, what else? Let's see. Sonny A.Day turned, like I said, she got injured. He brought her to the hospital, and they was just sitting up there talking and stuff like that. She was trying to get him to leave, but he was like, no. Willow came over there to try to check on her. He was like, he need a new nurse. She wanted to know what's going on, so they started talking about the custody battle, and she said it was strange. She said it was strange that a judge would do that because the judges don't usually do stuff like that. And she made a face, like I said earlier. So I was like, yeah, either she gonna investigate her some type of way. But my thing is, if Sidwell does what he said about blaming Sonny, would she think back to what Sonny said and realize that, he didn't actually do that or what? Because robbing illegal, right? I don't know. Or is she gonna be like, I got you now? Is she gonna be like, I got you now? But yeah, what else? I think they finally called her back there, and she was looking around, and he came up with the wheelchair. I said, he trying to get her. I said, he got a plan, but at the same time, he trying to get her. He trying to get that lady, and she gonna go. She gonna go. Brooklyn, Lucy, Maxie, Tracy was just talking about turning over the documents about Sonny and everything like that. Maxie was the only one that wanted to do it. Tracy kept saying, you know, they could face jail time, they could be in trouble, they could have their accounts frozen and stuff like that. But Maxie still was saying, you know, they still could get in trouble for it and stuff like that. So they put it to a vote. And if I'm not mistaken, she was the only one that wanted to go to the police. And Tracy was saying, you know, she could go to Mac. But I don't know if she gonna actually do that or not. I mean, I get it. I definitely get it or whatever. But look, that's why I was like, Natalia, don't sit up here. She done did damage before she died. I told y'all, Sonny slipping. Don't sit up here and let that lady go pack up bags. None of this would be happening. None of it. And I still want to find out also if that accountant dude, if he did that on purpose. Did Sewell have him do that on purpose so they could cut ties with Sonny or what? That's my theory. I don't know if it's true or not, but we'll see. I think the last thing is Willow and Isaiah. She ended up telling him that they wanted another nurse and stuff like that. She said something about Sonny's the only person out of Michael's family that's really been nice to her. And then they went and saw a patient and they was talking about that. And then she was like, she finally see who Drew is and stuff like that. He was blackmailing the co-chief of staff. I said, snitch. I said, y'all talk too much. I said, y'all talk too much. She was like, don't tell anybody I told you that or whatever. I'm still waiting to see also. Y'all know at first I was saying Isaiah was crooked and he was involved with Sewell or whatever, but so far we haven't seen anything. But he was like, I'm not gonna tell anybody. He gonna go tell Portia. He gonna tell her I know why you was gonna quit or whatever. But yeah, I think that's it, y'all. Let me see. Let's see. Oh, I already said how Willow was talking to Isaiah about Chase and how Chase is the person that she thought Michael would be and all that. And that's when I said, don't you think about it. Don't even think about it. You need to heal. You don't need another man, girl. Sit down somewhere. But yeah, oh, Jason asked Liesel if Rocco knows that it was Ober's idea to steal the embryo. And she was like, no. And he was like, the best thing you could do is to tell him or whatever because, you know, be honest. And it'll basically score her points. I said, he ain't wrong, though. It's better to be honest and have it come from you than somebody else because people always twist things. They don't even be knowing the truth, and they just twist things worse than it already is. But yeah, I'm ready for them to get this show on the road. I'm ready to see what Sewell's plans are. Excuse me. But let me scan these notes to make sure. Dante said that Laura's right. Danny and Rocco talk about Liesel. Rocco wants to get to know Liesel and Britt. Isaiah tells Willow she'll be back with her kids in no time. Jason X. Maxie still wants to go to the police. We talked about that. Let's see. Dante asks if Laura wants him to find out about Sonny. Yeah, that's it. That's all, y'all. Let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, deuces. Have a great rest of the day and be safe.